Welcome to our video series. In this video we'll show you how to properly clean your MyOx unit using an acid wash procedure. Specifically, the vault. Let's take a look. Before starting, gather all necessary equipment. You will need acid wash kit components supplied by MyOx and Operations Kit, acid wash cell union assembly, union 1/2 inch CPVC, only the female half is needed, reducer 1/2 inch slip by 1/2 inch threaded CPVC, 1/2 inch male thread by 3/8 tubing with a John Guess adapter PVDF, 2 lengths of 3/8 inch polyethylene tubing, 7 foot and 5 foot, 2 5-gallon buckets or similar containers, latex acid gloves, face shield, apron, paper towels or rags, 1 roll, soft water, acid, which can be hydrochloric acid, muriatic acid, or citric acid, pH strips. Step 1. The first step is to drain the cell. The vault system should be in standby before proceeding. Refer to the operations section of the manual if you have any questions. Place the run stop switch in the stop position. System will display stop mode when performed correctly. Do not turn off power to the OSG. You will need the diagnostics menu. The 2 fans will continue to run. It is okay to perform maintenance on the system while the fans are running. Position the 3-way valve on the oxidant transfer line to the drain position. This isolates the OSG from the solution storage tank. Open the bottom plumbing door and install the 5-foot long PE tube onto the blue handle drain valve. Route the other end of the PE line into a 5-gallon bucket or to a nearby drain. This tubing will be used again to connect the brine pump suction to the bucket. Drain the cell by opening the blue handle drain valve on the inlet manifold. Allow for the cell to drain for 20 to 30 seconds, then loosen or crack open the 1/2 inch female union on the right-hand side of the oxidant outlet piping just before it leaves the cell plumbing cabinet. Once the union and drain lines are opened, water will begin to drain from the cell and oxidant plumbing line. Discard drained water from the cell. After the cell is drained, close the blue handle drain valve on the inlet manifold. Tighten the female fitting loosened in the previous step. Capture or soak up any drained water that may have spilled onto plumbing enclosure floor. This prevents corrosion to electrical and metallic fittings. The second step is to prepare the brine pump for acid recirculation. Remove the tubing from pump inlet quick disconnect fitting. Push up on collet and pull down on tubing. Route PE tube 5-foot tubing and insert it into a 5-gallon bucket. Remove the PE tube with 3/8 stem and elbow from the brine pump check valve and attach 5-foot tubing to the blue handled JG valve used to drain the cell in step 1. The brine pump will suction the acid and water solution from the bucket during the acid washing procedure. Remove the 1/2 inch oxidant union assembly, female half, on the cell. Replace the union with the 1/2 inch acid wash cell union assembly and 7-foot tube supplied in the acid wash kit. Route the other end of this line into the 5-gallon bucket. This will allow acid to be discharged from the cell and provide a return path to the 5-gallon bucket during the acid washing recirculation procedure. Ensure that all spilled liquid is cleaned up immediately to prevent corrosion to electrical and metallic fittings. Step 3. The third step is to prepare the acid-water mixture. Remember to follow the manufacturer's safety instructions when handling acids. The drain on the cell will not permit complete drainage of a cell. Therefore, the residual water remaining in the cell is utilized for diluting the acid for a 50-50 mixture. In a 5-gallon bucket or similar container, prepare one of the following acid solutions. Refer to Table 6-1 to determine the appropriate volumes of acid and water to generate a 6N hydrochloric acid solution, or 50-50 mixture. Always add acid to water, never add water to acid. If weaker acid solutions are chosen, they are still effective. They will sufficiently clean the cell if allowed to circulate longer. Increase time for 30 minutes to 1 hour. Step 4. Step 4 is starting the acid wash recirculation. Open the blue handle drain valve on the inlet manifold. From the main menu, enter diagnostic by pressing on the diagnostic button. Locate brine pump voltage and click on the light blue window. Enter 3 and press on the large check mark to register the new value on the display. When performed correctly, the brine pump will turn on and the new value will be displayed 3.0. If acid solution does not begin to flow immediately, it may be necessary to carefully raise the bucket level above the brine pump level for a flooded suction of the pump. Once flow is established, the bucket can be returned to the floor. Allow the pump to circulate acid and water mixture for about 25 to 30 minutes if using a weaker acid solution, or if the cell is heavily calcified. Follow the same procedure to return the brine pump volts to 0.0 and turn the brine pump off. When finished acid washing, properly dispose of remaining mixture. The duration requirements for acid recirculation within the cell are dependent on type of acid and mineral deposits. If the cell is heavily calcified, it may be necessary to prepare a new batch of acid to recirculate another cycle. Step 5. The next step is acid removal. Fill the second 5-gallon bucket with water and set nearby. With brine pump voltage at 0.00, carefully remove the suction line from the 5-gallon bucket with the acid water mixture. Place the suction tubing into the second 5-gallon bucket filled with clean water, used to rinse the cell. 2 buckets are now being used simultaneously, one to supply fresh water, supply bucket, the other to collect cell discharge, collection bucket. Enter a brine pump voltage of 3.0. When the collection bucket is near full, enter a brine pump voltage of 0.0 to turn off the brine pump. Discard water-acid mixture from the collection bucket. Follow the manufacturer's recommendations for proper disposal of cleaning solution. Refill the supply bucket with clean water and repeat the previous process for rinsing the cell and pump. When the collection bucket is near full for the second time, enter a brine pump voltage of 0.0 to turn off the brine pump. Discard both buckets in accordance to local area manufacturer's recommendations for proper disposal. Step 6. The sixth step is to drain the cell. Turn the blue handle drain valve so that it is closed. Remove the 5-foot long PE tube from the brine pump inlet or suction side and route the other end of the PE line to a 5-gallon bucket or to a nearby drain. Then loosen or crack open the 1/2 inch acid wash cell union assembly. Once the union and drain lines are opened, drain the cell by opening the blue handle drain valve on the inlet manifold. Water will begin to drain from the cell and oxidant plumbing line. After the cell is drained, close the blue handle drain valve and remove the 5-foot long PE tube. Capture or soak up any drained water that may have spilled onto plumbing enclosure floor. This prevents corrosion to electrical and metallic fittings. Discard drained water from the cell. Step 7. The 7th step is to return the cell and pump plumbing to normal operating conditions. To do this, install the tubing to the brine pump check valve. Remove the tubing from pump inlet quick disconnect fitting. Install the tubing to the pump inlet.
coming from the brine solenoid. And reconnect the oxidant exit plumbing union. Verify the blue handle drain valve on the inlet manifold is closed. The acid washing kit has now been removed. Please look over and tighten any fitting that may be loose and ensure a closed loop within the plumbing cabinet. Step 8. The next step is to do a cell water flush. Dispose your purged water in a drain rather than to the oxidant storage tank. Enter diagnostics from the main menu. Initiate a flush by pushing the flush button. Allow the system to flush fresh water through the cell for 10 minutes to remove any residual acid that may remain in the cell. You can use pH strips to test the flush water and ensure there is no acid residual before exiting diagnostics. End the flush by pushing the flush button again. Exit diagnostics by pressing the main menu button. Position the three-way valve on the oxidant discharge line outside of the OSG cabinet to the tank position. The system is now ready for standard operation. Step 9. The final step is to perform a system restart. Restart the system in accordance with the operations and maintenance manual. While the system stabilizes water flow, continually check for leaks in the plumbing compartment. Monitor system operations for 15 to 20 minutes after the acid wash.
This concludes the video series on the supplemental cleaning of the MyOx vault. If you have any other problems with maintenance, contact us on our YouTube page, our website, or give us a call. Thank you for your time.